1940. Britain was standing alone against the storm. Every night, the sky burned red as German bombers, the feared Luftwaffe, turned cities into firestorms. Families hid underground, praying the next bomb wouldn't be theirs. Children cried in shelters as the ground shook above them. But while the enemy ruled the night, the Royal Air Force was blind. Their Spitfires and Hurricanes ruled the day, but once the sun disappeared, so did their eyes. No radar, no visibility, no way to find the enemy. British pilots took off into the black sky, guided only by the moonlight and a bit of luck. They called it night fighting, but it was really just flying blind, hoping to stumble upon a bomber before it reached the city. Most nights, they never found anything. Sometimes they'd see the glow of fires below and realize they were already too late. Britain needed a miracle. In a quiet lab hidden away from the chaos, a group of engineers were working day and night. They had built something strange, a small box with wires, dials, and a glowing screen. They called it Airborne Interception Radar, AI radar. It sounded promising on paper. It could, in theory, detect aircraft using invisible radio waves. But in reality, it barely worked. The signal was weak, the screen messy, just dots and lines that made no sense. Pilots who tried it came back frustrated. One of them shouted, "This thing is useless. It'll get us killed before it helps us." Even the engineers started to lose hope. But one man didn't. Squadron leader John Cunningham. Cunningham was already a legend, calm, focused, and fearless. His fellow pilots called him Cat's Eyes because he had an uncanny ability to see in the dark. When he heard about the radar project, he didn't laugh like the others. He said quietly, "If this box can find even one bomber in the dark, it's worth it." January 1941. The night was freezing. The sky, pitch black. John Cunningham climbed into his Bristol Beaufighter, his radar operator sitting beside him, watching the small green screen glow faintly in the dark cockpit. They took off into the darkness, engines roaring. For 10 long minutes, nothing but static. The radar looked dead. Then suddenly, a faint signal appeared. The operator's voice broke the silence. "Contact. Left 20 degrees. 5 miles." Cunningham turned the aircraft. Both men stared into the black void ahead. Nothing but clouds. Until a shadow moved. A faint silhouette against the stars. A German Heinkel bomber. Cunningham pressed the trigger. Tracer bullets ripped through the night. The bomber caught fire and exploded in the distance. Silence. Then the operator shouted, "We got him!" It worked. That one moment changed everything. Within days, the RAF command was talking about it. That useless invention had proven itself in combat. Soon, more and more night fighters were fitted with AI radar. The pilots trained hard to read the flickering green blips on their screens. They learned to fly in total darkness, trusting the machine more than their own eyes. It was like learning to see without sight, and it worked. Night after night, radar-guided Beaufighters rose into the sky. They hunted silently through the clouds, waiting for the radar operator to whisper, "Contact!" Each time, another German bomber went down. Londoners who once trembled in fear now heard the distant roar of engines above, and they knew someone was watching over them in the dark. By the summer of 1941, RAF night fighters were intercepting enemy bombers almost every night. One after another, the Luftwaffe's steel birds fell from the sky before they could drop their bombs. By the end of the year, more than 600 bombers were destroyed. The same machine everyone had called useless had turned into Britain's secret weapon. AI radar changed the war, and it changed the future of aviation forever. It was the first step toward the advanced radar systems that protect our skies today, and it all started with a small box, and a man who believed in it when no one else did. John Cunningham went on to become one of the greatest night fighter aces of World War II. But he never bragged. He never claimed to be a hero. He just smiled and said, "It wasn't my eyes that saw in the dark. It was the radars." Sometimes the inventions people call useless are the ones that end up saving the world.